how has your relationship with your body image and your physical strength been up until this point? And how has that sort of changed and developed on that journey for you?
That's a great question. I think that for a lot, I feel like not just women, but anyone can relate to body image issues. Oh my God. I have, I have, roller coastered in and out of confidence my whole life. Like I would say I'm a fairly confident person. I'm very lucky. I'm very baseline. I'm a very like happy, confident person. But when you start to get down on yourself about the way you look, there's like that's a very particular kind of low. And especially when it has to do with your body. And like, so my relationship with my body, especially being in the spotlight for a very long time, or not even the spotlight, but just being in the industry for such a long time, it has gone in and out so much. Like there's so much pressure, but then there's also like that pressure that you put on yourself. And like, it really does mostly come from yourself. But with a movie like this, and I really discovered my relationship to exercise, which helped me so much to kind of hone my relationship to food. I'm so much more free with my food. I don't think about really what I eat. If I'm hungry, I eat now. If I want something, I'll eat that thing. So like, I feel really good where I've gotten there, but especially with this movie, like the training was so intense. I was training for so many hours and for so long. I had to eat a ton to keep up with all the stuff I was burning. And I gained so much muscle and it was like, I became a lot heavier than I normally am while making this movie because I needed to replenish all the stuff I was burning, and I was gaining so much muscle. And I'm really actually proud of that. Like I couldn't have maintained that as hours and hours of training a day. So I actually did lose weight afterwards because I lost some muscle. But I really loved how strong I got. I got so strong.
And that relates so well to how we feel within ourselves and our mental strength as well, doesn't it? And our
Yeah.
mental well-being. Do
Yeah.
you feel like you're in a better place with your own mental well-being now because you've been on that journey? And how's that changed for you as well?
Mentally, I feel like it's like one of those it's one of those things, like I think that
Mm,
anyone can really say that. I don't know. I feel like I've got really great days. I'm, like I said, baseline. I wake up pretty happy and very grateful for everything I have. But it's like obviously not every day is like that. Like um and I think what is especially hard is people that don't know me, that have no clue who I am. They're not like in my life. They just make judgments the way based on what I look like and based on how they've perceived me in other roles. And they'll say things about me that are like really, really messed up, like on the internet. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like you go through ebbs and flows of really, really not caring, and then you wake up one day and maybe your period's starting the next day and it just hits you in this way where like you all of a sudden just
mm,
absolutely hate yourself. um but doing a movie like this has like, I have not felt as proud that like I have not felt this kind of pride for a movie in a long time. As far as how like I felt about myself, like I've been proud of movies I've done. I'm so proud, but the way that I like put my everything into this, dived into it head first. I literally didn't know if I would be able to do this. And then I did do it. It gave me so much confidence that I really took with me after the movie was over. I felt like, and I feel like this sparked something inside of me that was like, what are you talking about? Like you can do things that you think you can't do. Because I'm lucky, I get a job where I get to have like, I learn new skills for the job. So I get to try out all these different kinds of hobbies that I'd never otherwise maybe try. And this made me realize that I could freaking do anything.
yes, that is it. That is the sweet spot of finding your
Yeah.
power, and it's
Yeah.
about overcoming self-doubt and also quieting not only the critic within you but the critics outside of
Yeah.
you as well.
Because at the end of the day, like who gives a rat's ass? Like I'm like the louder they are, the more successful I am. Like I don't know. It sounds so self-centered, but it's true. It's like you
Yes.
only hate me. You only hate me because I'm doing really cool shit. I don't know. Whatever.
and
I'm
that,
like the
and
lead
that
of an action movie. Like that's fucking crazy.
it's amazing, and I think that speaks to the fact that you had self-doubt about that speaks to how people try to underestimate people in so many walks of life at so many different times. And this character in herself, she is underestimated at every single turn by every single person. When do you feel like you've been underestimated?
I think that a lot of underestimation comes from myself. Even though like I feel like I've been doing this for such a long time, there's still like moments where I'm like, yeah, surely I couldn't do that though. But I'm not afraid to be the first one to say that I did a good job in something. You know what I mean? Like I know when I give it my all, and like I have no problem like boosting myself up. But similar to our lovely princess, I did underestimate myself with this movie a lot. What I did know is, because I was so insecure, is that I wanted to work my ass off and get to a point where I could do most of my own fighting. And that was amazing, and I did. But as far as underestimation throughout my career and my life, for much of my life, I've really been the youngest person in the room. I grew up as a child actor, so you're the youngest person in the room with a lot of adults who make a lot of big decisions. And so, because I've been doing this for so long, I feel like I've garnered a lot of knowledge within this industry and a lot of desire to contribute in a way that is on a producing end. And so, coming into that world and feeling and being in different rooms now and having different conversations with people that I normally get to work with, but don't get to necessarily collaborate with or talk to in a way that like I'm contributing my opinion to something. I've definitely had a little bit of a rude awakening with not everyone, absolutely not. I've worked with some incredible people since I've started producing that really take me seriously and really care about what I have to say. And also like know that I'm not coming into this being like, I know everything. Like I know nothing. I want to learn about producing. I want to be a sponge, but I've definitely experienced some, I guess ageism is the word for it. It's like, because I'm still pretty much the youngest person in the room, there is a lot of like scoffing and certain things that are said, or certain things that I'm disregarded on. And I think that underestimation is something that kind of pushes me harder in a way.
It's so amazing how sometimes it's the negative voices that you hear that actually spur you on the most.
Isn't
Like,
that the worst? Like, come on. But I do have to say, in regards to that, our producers on The Princess, Neil Moritz and Toby Jaffe became like one of my great friends. I have to say, like, I've not felt so like cared for, and like they really, really wanted to know what I thought about things, and they really wanted my opinion on the final edit, and they really wanted my opinion here and there. It was so wonderful to work with people who knew like I was really capable of contributing something special to a project that I was really passionate about.
And I think as well, the movie speaks so much of sexism and the everyday kind of negative sexist comments that can get made.
Yeah.
What kind of everyday sexism do you still come up against, and you find yourself still continuously coming up against, or you've come up against and you've addressed in a certain way?
I mean, God, I was about to say something that I probably shouldn't say in an interview, but I will say it in a roundabout way. I'm talking about how the people that don't know me, like they say really mean things, like online cyberbullying. It's really incredible to me, because like it's mind blowing that like I will get torn down for like a movie that I'm really proud of that I did, that was like a fun teen rom-com. Because the same people that loved it when it came out all of a sudden don't love it because they decided, I don't know, they don't like me anymore. I don't know. And what's interesting is like I'll see other actors, other male actors who made similar career moves that I did, that are allowed that breathing room, and they're like celebrated for all those choices they made after they did something when they were a teenager. But I feel like I see, not just with myself, but a lot of female actresses are not given the same grace and room to grow in their career as male actors. And like what's so interesting too is like I have no regrets about anything. Like when people say like really mean things about my acting or something in the kissing booth, I'm like, you're nuts. Like I'm so proud of those movies. They made me who I am today. Like I really found myself while making those movies. I'm proud of them. I can't wait to show them to my kids like one day. So it's interesting when people take something that is great, you're so proud of, and they'll tear you down for that, and then they'll let other male actors shine, and they won't say anything. And I've seen that with a lot of my female what is the word? A colleague? We're not in like, I guess so. Peers. There we go. I'm like, we're not in an office. A lot of my female, like my young actress female peers, like I've seen it a lot, and it's just kind of amazing to me how sexist that is. It's so blatant to me.